This is video blog number 1 about short films, codes and conventions. The first one is main characters. Short films tend to have only a couple of main characters, sometimes they only have a singular main character. This is because they don't have time to develop complex backstories, because the films tend to be about 5 to 10 minutes long, so backstories can't be developed, and a lot of the time they don't even have backstories. They'll sometimes have a lot of supporting sort of smaller characters to help develop the main character through their sort of interaction with them. Again, it can also come down to money. You might not be able to afford to hire a lot of actors, so unless you have sort of a lot of friends who are willing to do it for free or something, you're not going to be able to have that many sort of characters within your film. The next thing is locations. They're often shot in only a couple of locations. This is again due to the film length. You can't go to that many places in about 5 to 10 minutes. It's just not possible. And again, it comes down to money again, because you can't afford to hire or rent out that many places. A good example of this is the short film Dear Susan, in which a man is walking around a school, sort of reliving his childhood and how he met this girl. This is all literally shot in the same school, going through a couple of different rooms, but it's all in the exact same location for the entirety of the film, and they shot it literally within 6 hours. So yeah. The short films, already talked about this slightly. The length of short films, they tend to be about 5 to 10 minutes long on average, but a short film can be anything from about a minute to 30 minutes. Anything over 30 minutes starts to become sort of a feature film. And anything under about a minute is considered too short to develop any kind of story. This is because of budget usually. They can't afford to write and, make an entire feature film. But it can also be down to personal preference. If you want to make something short and quirky, a short film is obviously the best way to go about doing that sort of thing. Situation. Short films often take a fairly standard situation that people go through in everyday life, and they'll twist it and make it so it's not what you'd expect. A good example of this is the short film Waiting for the End of the World. This is about a guy who works in a supermarket, and he makes out the whole way through the film that he's literally the last person left on Earth, and he's walking around and he's doing all this stuff in the supermarket, checking all the food and everything, but he's still going about it as if it's normal. And then we find out at the end that it's not the last person on Earth, it's literally that he does the night shift, so it looks like there's no one else around. So that's what they tend to do, and that's what short films tend to be about. Storylines for short films. Storylines are often very simplistic and very easy to follow. This is again due to the length of the film. You can't fit a very long, complex storyline into about 5 to 10 minutes because it just won't work properly. And if you tried to cram all that in, it would feel rushed. It wouldn't work. Dialogue. Short films often have little or no dialogue. This is again due to the length of the film. 5 to 10 minutes, you can't have a dialogue-heavy film. And they often use sort of voiceovers to explain what's happening. Some films use that in the film Two Men. Uses that, where it has the two men running, and you have a voiceover for the guy watching, wondering what's happening and playing out the different scenarios of what it could be about. They tend to use, as well, because they don't have dialogue-heavy films, they tend to use a lot of visual imagery to show what it's like. The twist. All of the short films that I've seen have a twist at the end that you wouldn't expect. The best twists are the ones that you don't see coming at all. This links in well to the classic realist narrative, where you have the equilibrium at the start, then you have the disequilibrium, which will be the twist, and then when the twist is sort of finished and resolved, you'll have the new equilibrium, which will be how the film ends.